aged and purty. Like this photo of me and Maxie on a roller coaster. I was terrified and almost lost my lunch. Yeah, sure it was scary. Sure I got stuck at the top of a loop-de-loop and Max had to catch me and swing me into a cotton candy stand, but the park gave us free admission for life and all the cotton candy we could eat. And Max and I made a memory. That's just who we are.
Is it so wrong to want to be normal?
I reckon every family has their own normal.
We all remember a Goofy movie, but how many of us remember the show it was spun off from, Goof Troop? Goof Troop was an American animated sitcom produced by Walt Disney Television Animation. The series focused on the relationship between Goofy and his son Max, as well as his neighbors Pete and his family. The show was created by Robert Taylor and Michael Pizarro Jr. The main series lasted for about 65 episodes and aired its first run on syndication from 1992 to 1993 on the Disney Afternoon Programming block, while an additional 13 episodes aired on Saturday mornings on ABC. Goof Troop shares several similarities to the early 1950s Goofy cartoons, in which he's depicted as a father to a mischievous red-haired son, aka Goofy Jr. Proto-Max, if you will. In the show, however, Goofy is a single father who moves back to his hometown of Spoonerville with his son Max. The town of Spoonerville is named after the layout artist J. Michael Spooner, who designed many of the backgrounds and layouts for the series. As it happens, Goofy and Max end up moving next door to Goofy's high school friend Pete, a used car salesman and owner of Honest Pete's Used Cars. Pete and his wife Peg, a real estate agent, and their two children, their son PJ, aka Pete Jr., and their younger daughter Pistol. If you haven't noticed by now, they're all kind of puns on Pete's old aliases. You have Pegleg Pete and Pistol Pete. PJ and Max become great friends and practically do everything together. A large portion of the show comes from the humor between Max and his dad versus PJ and his dad and how different they are.
Plenty of trees in Spoonerville. They even got a lake. You won't have to fish in the sink anymore.
Really?
Hey! Now don't get too friendly with that kid, see? He's crawling with goof germs. Why, you catch one of them and you'll wind up just like him. The ears, the nose, the yucks, the works. Why, I've seen it happen and it ain't pretty. Now protect yourself, see?
The cool thing about Goof Troop, despite its 90s edge, is that it's basically a sitcom. Max and PJ were the complete opposites of each other, down to their relationships with their father. Max was the embodiment of the 90s, a hyperactive, extreme-loving thrill seeker who tends to drag PJ into all of his schemes. PJ is Max's best friend. Like Max, PJ ages throughout all of his appearances, going from middle school to high school and then even college. PJ's nervous, insecure, and shy, often fearing punishment from his dad, Pete. His relationship with his father consists of fear and control, which is a stark contrast between Max and his dad, which is more loving and honest, often calling his dad Sir. So yeah, Pete basically used to beat the crap out of PJ. Probably why Peg left him, but we'll get there. Pete in this series is Goofy's high school best friend. Pete dislikes Goofy because 25 years ago, prior to the show, when they were in high school, Pete was a quarterback at the high school. And during a football game, Goofy, who was a cheerleader at the time, accidentally hit Pete, causing him to fumble the ball. Peg is the wife of Pete and the mother of PJ and Pistol. She was friends with Goofy and Pete during high school and performed as a cheerleader for the football team. Sometime after Goofy moved away from Spoonerville, Peg and Pete got married, and she became a real estate agent. During the series, she's often trying to rein in Pete's worst traits, trying to calm him down and make sure he doesn't do anything stupid. She's shown to be quite cynical and overbearing towards Pete, but treats her children much better than he does. And she has a soft spot for Goofy and Max. Also, she openly cheated on Pete several times with Goofy, like an alarming rate. You know, in my mind, I thought it was some kind of a Mandela effect. I thought her and Goofy used to go out in high school, but apparently not. So, hey, Mr. Milkman, this is a big step up. You know, Goofy gets the ladies.
Goofy?
Peg?
Oh! I haven't seen you since high school.
You're still pretty as your homecoming
Now
picture.
cut that out. Why didn't you pistol? Stay away from those slugs. Call me and
Slugs?
tell me that you were. Oh, it's so good. I thought I told you to leave them alone. They're slimy and scummy and filthy. And oh, and who's this?
Peg? My son, Max.
Hi, Max. Oh.
Listen, we sort of dinged your boat.
Oh, Pete will be so glad to see you. He won't even notice.
You sure?
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, Pistol. Pistol?
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, Pistol. Hello, Pistol.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell to the no, hell to the no, to the no, 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 no. Hell no, no, to the no, no. Hell to the no.
Pistol is the youngest child of Pete and Peg, and the younger sister of PJ. She's extremely energetic, hyperactive, so she's basically the kid sister you see in most of your average, everyday cartoon. She's like Dee Dee if Dee Dee was the little sister instead of the big sister. At the beginning of the show, she's like about 4.5. Towards the later end of the series, she's 6, and her namesake is a play on Pete's name, which is Peg Leg Pete. Pistol Pete. Said that earlier, but now you know where that comes from. Fun fact, Goofy's full name is Goofer G. Goof, or GG Goofy. Goof. That is odd. Before becoming the show we know today, Goof Troop was originally going to be Goofy Troopers, a show in which Goofy was going to be the captain of his own fire department. And then later on, ideas began to shift, and he might have been a police captain or detective. Here's some unused art. This is how Max was supposed to look. This is Max and PJ, and this is Pete's family.
Animation is so hard! People who do this for a living deserve more credit and respect!
Walt Disney Pictures eventually went on to release 2 films that have served up as the following to the television series: a theatrical Goofy movie released on April 7th, 1995, as well as a direct-to-video sequel, an Extreme Goofy movie, which was released on February 29th, 2000, as the series finale. About 3 years after Goof Troop, Max, now 14, makes a crazy promise to his crush Roxanne to perform next to the Michael Jackson / Prince stand-in Powerline, but his dreams are ultimately crushed when Goofy takes him on a cross-country trip. Honestly, Goofy movie is a banger. We all kind of know the premise. There's basically nothing wrong with this movie. I love Bobby, aka Pauly Shore. Who doesn't like a little cheddar? Maxie!
Cheddar! Ah! Cheddar whizzing!
My favorite two scenes in the films are, one, the standout scene where Max lip syncs the Powerline song to Roxanne, and my second favorite scene has to be the Hi Dad soup, where Goofy reminisces over the days where Max would just make him soup and say, "Hi Dad," or "I love you." I'm not gonna lie, it's a real tearjerker.
Huh? Oh, don't tell me you don't remember Hi Dad soup. Oh, come on. Sure you do. You used to spell things out using the letters like Hi Dad or Maxie or...
Ambidextrous?
Yeah, that's... Huh? No. Little words like...
Hasta la vista?
Like bye-bye.
Or I pledge allegiance.
Or I love you.
The sequel, an extreme Goofy movie, is set about 2 years after Max is now 18 and he leaves to college with PJ and Bobby. However, Goofy has empty nest syndrome and is recently fired from his job and has the opportunity to get a better job by going to college, which means going to annoy Max. Meanwhile, in college, Max and his crew come face to face with the Gammas and their leader, Bradley Uppercrust III. And basically they do the whole X Games stuff, but that's not the real takeaway from the movie. The real takeaway from the movie is, 1, Goofy's extreme dance skills, 2, the ladies, and 3, Goofy finally gets laid.
I come off as silly and oblivious, but I have the same urges as anyone else. These primal animal cravings have persisted long after your mother's passing, and to this day I yearn for the next opportunity to take pleasure in the carnal union of flesh. Your dad doesn't just have sex, Maxie. Your dad fucks.
But overall, the Goof Troop saga was probably my favorite saga. I got nothing against DuckTales and Quack Pack is Quack Pack, but yeah, Goofy movie and Goof Troop still reign supreme. If you agree or disagree with anything I've said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know the next time we upload. And thanks for watching. Yeah!